Hello and welcome to another episode of a Wicked Parley. I'm your host, Justin, and today we're talking about what you guys want to talk about, because today is a call-in show. Alright, so I want to first break down the rules of the call-in show, so that way people know what's up. So, first things first, any person who wants to join the Discord, go ahead and start queuing up now in the lounge. You know, do that sort of fun stuff. What will happen is that the first person in the lounge or approximation of it will be asked to go into a special call where they'll be connected with me on the air. You're welcome to ask any question you like, one question, and or have one statement, or we kind of have a bit of a discussion about that. Then after we've had that discussion, you would bounce out of the call, and then the next person would come back up. If you feel like you have another question or you have another statement you'd like to make, then join back into the lounge and you'll be then added back into the queue. So that way, if you guys have multiple questions and multiple things, we can kind of approach it as fairly as possible while still addressing them all. Yeah. Is there anything that you'd like to say about that, Rose?
Join the Discord. That's the only way you can join the call-ins.
This is true. The Discord. Make sure that you look at the Discord. So Discord is going to be posted up in the chat. So if you guys don't have Discord, then you'll have a link for it. And yeah. Okay.
And I will be right back.
Yeah. And in the meantime, I'm just going to kind of discuss some random stuff that I kind of just found intriguing while I was looking at stuff earlier today. And one of the things I kind of came up across was like people just basically like being polarized about the new Thor movie. You know, like on one side of things, people are like, "Oh, it's a great movie. It's gonna be so good," you know, and like they go see it, and they're like, "Oh, it's so good. It's not as good as Ragnarok, but it's still pretty good." And then like other people are like, "Yeah, this movie's terrible. It's dragging," you know, all this sort of stuff, right? I'm gonna go see it tomorrow, and so I'll have something to say next Saturday, or if you're in the call on Tuesday, you know, then you guys can come chat me about that. But honestly, like one of the things that I kind of like look at when it comes to these things is the fact that so often, you know, not only do they spoil the movie usually, right? But there's all sorts of these random injections of different things. And like this article, for instance, is basically indicating that the new movie doesn't add anything to the Marvel phases, right? It doesn't build off anything trying to tell a greater story, because everyone's looking for that in-game connection. It makes me just think like, hey, maybe we're not doing good things. Looks like Rose is back. So do we have our first caller?
Yes, we have our first caller, who is host.
Okay.
So let's pull him. Cool.
Is he in?
Almost.
Please be patient, audience, as this is the first time we're doing this, so, you know, hiccups.
Wait! Wow, I was screaming.
Yeah.
We have host 2022.
Hi. Welcome, host. What is your question or statement for the show? Silence? Can you hear us?
I heard him earlier.
I can hear you.
Fantastic.
So,
Oh, the audio is catching up.
Yeah, you gotta...
the audio's kind of catching up. Do you not have the Discord audio up?
I do. I just have the stream audio up too.
Hi, backseat.
Alright, so my question for you,
Yes.
Justin.
Yes.
What do you have against the speed limit in America?
Well, what do I have against speed limit? That's a great question. I love that question. Everything. Like absolutely everything. I don't know. I'm a person who likes to drive fast. I don't obey many traffic laws. I kind of feel like if you don't get caught, you didn't do anything wrong. My main problem with the speed limit is the fact that it's imposed for vehicles that are a bit antiquated. Like a modern car's ability to stop and turn is going to be radically different than, say, a car from the 70s. There's completely different kinds of technology in them. So I think that perhaps the speed limits need to be at least mildly adjusted, and specifically on freeways. Like, if you're in a freeway in an open stretch, there is no reason why you shouldn't be able to do 80, 90 miles an hour. This business of I'm going 65 to 70 miles an hour is ridiculous and is virtually ignored by 90% of the population. that I hope that like addresses the question. And if you have more,
All right.
yeah, if you have more, yeah, like just join the queue. Unless there's more to that question, because I'm happy to discuss it if you want.
Just a follow-up comment.
Oh.
I was under the impression that you want to straight up remove speed limits everywhere. It's like, school zone 25 miles an hour, pshaw, go 100. If you can dodge a car, you can dodge a ball.
I know, right? If you dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball, kind of thing. Yeah.
Oh God, no.
Yeah, no. I would say
I was
like.
asking for it.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. All right. Yes, I think I may have said something like that in a jest. Like I wasn't being super serious. I think there are places where speed limits make sense. You know, if you're in a community, you know, there's a bunch of houses, there's potentially kids running by. You do not need to be flying around at the speed of sound. Right?
Flying around at the speed of sound.
Yeah, because you might make it's not great. You know, like you don't want that. So
And then just be careful around curbs.
I mean, it depends on the vehicle. But yes, largely you're not wrong on that. But no, I wouldn't want to abolish like speed limits. Period. I think they do serve a purpose. I mean, you know, you don't want to be stuck in, I don't know, like a Toyota Corolla doing 120 on the freeway and being like, wow, my brakes no longer work anymore. That sucks. I hope I slow down before I hit something. Yeah, I don't think you want that.
See, no, I'm not a speed demon.
No, Rose
Not compared to some of my friends.
No. Rose is one of the few people I let drive my car. She is a great driver. She drives at an appropriate speed and is very safe. So no, I would not call her a speed demon. I mean, I'm not. I'd
compared to my group of friends.
Yeah, I would think I'm like a speed sprite. You know, I'm not like a demon, but I'm like, you know, like I'm like several steps below that. You know, like I like to go fast, but responsibly. So.
Alright. So I'm gonna get myself and host back to the lounge.
All right. And let me just continue on this little rant with Thor. I mean, I'm not sure how many of you guys know this or not, but like Thor is one of my absolute all-time favorites, and so you know, it's kind of a big deal. So, anyways, like I was saying before, though, like people basically look at these movies, I think, and like they're expecting all these sorts of things, when in fact they're just supposed to be fun. You know, I think it was a treat that the fact that the early Marvel movies were building up to some great big plot that we weren't expecting. And to be honest, the guys who were creating it weren't 100% expecting it either until towards the end. You know, like those first, you know, the phase 1, phase 2 movies, they were hoping to get to a Thanos kind of movie, but that was definitely, you know, not 100%. And so I would say, like, you know, these writers, you know, like IGN stuff, I mean, you know, it's IGN. But I mean, like, they aren't the only one. I've seen YouTubers trash the movie. I'm going to say this. If it's entertaining, people are going to go see it, and people should enjoy it. Now, we could be talking about a completely different property, though, and like that gets me into Star Wars. All right, so I'm going to say this now. Star Wars got some problems. Star Wars got lots of problems.
Star Wars has lots of problems?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but hold on, we'll get to the caller. I'll jump into the Star Wars thing in a second. All right.
Yes.
So who do we have this time?
We have Chowder.
Chowder. Okay. How you doing, Chowder?
Hello.
Hi. So, what is your question or statement that you want to discuss?
If you could see any moment in history, but not change the event, what would it be?
Any moment in history, but not change the event. Ooh, that's a good question.
Right?
Okay, I
heard it, and I'm like, he's gonna enjoy that one.
Yeah, I am. I'll be honest. That's a great question. I like that question a lot. Oof. Okay, there's like three that pop in my head, but I'm gonna go with the one that like I think is the most impactful to me. Is I can't change anything about history, right? I just have to see how it basically plays out, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I would want to watch, and this sounds terrible, okay, but like just to be there, and if I'm not gonna experience any of the consequences, right? Like I'm not there for anything that happens. Like I can't interact with reality. I can just see it.
Yeah, you're just basically an incorporeal body,
Cool.
and that you can move around.
Yeah.
But you're also just seeing the event.
Okay, then I would say like I would probably want to have witnessed the sacking of Rome by the Visigoths.
Oh, okay.
You know, I would want to see like these, you know, basically pompous assholes get what's coming to them. You know, like like centuries of like, you know, basically just abusing the system. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Romans weren't necessarily all bad people, but they did do a lot of bad things, and like that was one of the more brutal moments. And if I had an honorable mention, if you're okay with that,
Sure.
I would say essentially the burning of the Library of Alexandria. Because I would want to know who did it, you know, and that way I get an idea behind some of their motivations, you know, who's like, I'm just going to fuck over like, you know, 70% of human knowledge at the time, you know, like what kind of guy does that, you know? So.
That does sound horrifying. Like, what kind of person would do this? And like, just look at like the open books and be like, this is the knowledge we lost.
I know, right? You know, like you find like a great recipe for spaghetti, you know, like no, they're totally ahead of their time, or we figure out how Roman concrete actually was made. Like, like I would love to know that.
Yeah. I think one of them for me would be seeing how the pyramids were made.
Oh, that's a good one.
And then the second one.
Mm-hmm.
I'd want to see what killed a majority of the dinosaurs.
Like it wasn't a big rock, it was just a big sneaker.
Not only would I be able to see like what made them mostly extinct, but I'd actually be able to actually see them.
Oh
and
yeah.
not have pictures of what people think they are.
Yeah, you'd be like, aha, I call it. You guys are all wrong. They're not skin. There's feathers everywhere, man. They look like giant chickens.
Monstrous chickens.
Oh, man. Well, thanks for a great question, Backseat. Yeah. If you have any more, just join back in the queue and we'll go through it.
Yeah,
No
we'll
problem.
be right back.
All right. Okay, so back to what I was saying about Star Wars. Okay, so here's what I got to say about Star Wars. All right. First, we'll go here. So, you know, obviously this article basically talks about how like there was racist messages sent, you know, to Moses something on Instagram. And other things, I'm guessing, or it was Moses Ingram, like, Instagram. I meant Twitter. Anyways, but the whole thing was that a lot of people that were complaining about the show were like, hey, it's bad, blah, 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 right? They weren't necessarily attacking the actress. And the thing I thought was kind of interesting was that I listened to and watched several YouTube personalities discuss Star Wars and discuss Obi-Wan Kenobi and discuss the things that they felt were wrong with the show. And many of these people were writing and talking about the show before it was even done. And I honestly thought the show wasn't bad. I mean, I didn't think it was phenomenal. I definitely saw there were areas where it definitely... they need to work on some CGI. But I didn't really think that the story was that bad. I thought that the writing... there were some parts that maybe were a little inconsistent and kind of didn't make sense and kind of goofy, but that happens with any property, you know? I mean, anytime you touch anything that has a real world in it, you run the risk of making some sort of minor faux pas. So it's something that I think is kind of passable. But the thing that I thought was interesting is that, like, instead of, like, looking at the whole thing as a whole, people just jumped on and being like, that's terrible, this is bad, blah, 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 blah. And it was so, like, strong that it made me actually like literally not want to watch the show. And then I was very luckily given the opportunity to watch it for free, and so when I watched it, I kind of didn't have like the whole I'm paying for this, and so this better be good kind of attitude. And when I looked at it, I'm like, you know, this is not terrible. Like, this is definitely, like, I've seen some properties that were bad. I'm be honest. You know, Disney's handling of Star Wars has been rough over the years. I'm not a fan of pretty much all of the new editions of Star Wars, with the exception of Rogue One. Like, it was the only one I liked. And oh my god.
Star Wars issues?
Huh?
Star Wars issues?
Oh yeah. I was basically breaking down how the reviews of certain Star Wars properties, how like they're terrible, but yet at sometimes they're not like the the worst thing ever, and so like sometimes the influencers actually like they get me even. So yeah, all right,
People are diehards. All right,
that's for sure.
we do have another one.
Okay, who we got?
It's Chowder again.
Chowder again. Hey, Chowder.
Yeah.
Surprising.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, Chowder.
I have returned.
Hello.
Just pulling you out in the middle of a convo.
Okay. So, what is your question or comment for the show?
My question is, what is the most nostalgic thing from your childhood?
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. 100%.
That was
Most
that was also a large part of my childhood.
Yeah, I absolutely love the Green Ranger and the Yellow and the Yellow Ranger, like from first version of Power Rangers that we got.
Yeah.
And the Zords were just they captivated my imagination as a child in a way that I really haven't seen any properties do for me ever since, even as an adult.
All right.
Yeah.
For me, the two most nostalgic, both are shows. One was Dragon Tales,
Oh, Dragon Tales.
Definitely good.
and the other is the original Clifford show.
The big red dog? Like
The
Clifford
big
the...
old red dog. Yeah,
Oh
Clifford
my
the big
God.
old red dog. I love
The
it.
greatest station of our childhood.
Ah.
PBS.
And then you think about the repercussions of such a huge dog.
Yeah. Destroy the city. Did you guys
City.
remember Arthur?
Imagine the food budget.
Arthur was great.
The food
Oh,
budget
yeah,
would be
Arthur.
ridiculous. Like for a dog
Arthur the
like
Yardbird.
that. I'm sorry, I was talking about that.
Great. My childhood nostalgia is how I got my nickname.
Ah.
So my nickname is Chowder,
Mhm.
and I got called it because I was fat kid.
Okay.
And when I was on vacation in Cambodia, that was the only show that was on Cambodian Cartoon Network. And so they would call me Chowder because, oh, you're the fat kid from Chowder.
Oh, that's fucking brutal, dude. I'm
Jesus.
sorry.
I loved it. I love the show. So I
You embraced it.
So it wasn't
I
an
embraced
insult to
it.
you.
yeah, and then people in like middle school and high school started calling me that. I'm like, ah, yeah, people that know me now.
Oh man, that's you know what though? Like, I mean, I'm glad that you were able to take that and turn into a positive. I know that sometimes can't happen for everybody. I mean, like, people took my last name and called me Hannibal the Cannibal, like, a lot. Because, like, my last name's Annibal. And so, like, I got this, like, it was like two things. It was either people making fun of me, right? Or people being just intimidated and scared of me. And so it was like, I'm like, I can't win. Like, I just can't win when it comes to this.
Yeah, fair enough. The most people could do with my name is just I'm about as short as my name.
You're relatively short.
Yeah.
Shut. I am 5'1", but I will get your shins.
Yes, you've kicked me in the shin before.
Yeah, she does that.
What? It's the most reliable body part I can hurt.
Okay, well, all right. We'll go with that. Thanks for the question, and feel free to queue up again if you'd like.
On is a murderer.
All right. Okay, so all right, I will. Yeah, we'll be taking on calls for another 20-ish minutes, give or take, if there are more people or more questions. So yeah, so just feel free to jump in if you have one. All right, so back to what I was saying about Star Wars. When it comes to this particular property, in general, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like Disney is kind of like is being pulled by Kathleen Kennedy in negative, like in ways that I don't think the investors would have wanted. Kathleen Kennedy is famously like put forth all this like feministic messaging and like politics and stuff like that into a lot of the movies. And I think a lot of fans kind of look at that and go, there was politics in Star Wars before, but there wasn't like this. And I think when they're referring to and especially when I'm referring to when it's saying it's not like this, what I'm getting at is the whole like trying to divide like people. and get them to be polarized. Because, there's the diehard fans who are like, this is not at all what the characters would ever do. And then there's the person who goes in the movie and goes, you know what? It's a good movie. I like this. This is pretty cool. And then, obviously these people are going to have completely different perspectives on what they just watched. And so they're going to be like at each other's throats. And I feel like there's people at Disney that are looking at the situation going, wow, this is great press. Because, there's the whole idea that any press, good or bad, is good press. And I don't know. It kind of disturbs me, but I don't know. I'd like to hear from you guys what you guys think about that. Hey, all right. Sounds like we're back with somebody else.
Yeah, Chowder has a third one.
All right. Well, Chowder, you're just knocking it out here, huh?
He made a comment that he lives to create questions for other people to answer.
Okay. Well, at this point, it seems like I live to answer questions. So.
All right. Let's get him in.
Okay.
Hi.
I have returned.
Welcome back, Chowder.
My name is Chowder. I am the new co-host of a Wicked Parley.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so Chowder, what hit me? What you got?
Hit me
Without
with my
remembering
shot.
anything up until that point, you can choose a birthday and restart your life at that moment. Which birthday would you choose?
September 11th.
Your birthday is September 11th?
Oh yeah. Think about it. Like it's a day that everyone knows 100%, right? Like, most people most of the time know where they were when September 11th happened, at least in the United States, right? Okay, multiple serious things have happened on that particular day, and you're guaranteed to be able to get in anywhere because people are going to be sad your birthday is September 11th. And by the way, I'm going to play this out now. Any viewers who are watching this in the future, if your birthday is September 11th, there are two things I have to say. First thing is that I would like to know if you get any special discounts, and two, I'm sorry for my statement.
Oh my god. What birthday would I restart at? Oh, that's a little difficult, because I can barely remember birthdays past like 5 years ago.
Oh my god.
So it's like, I don't know if I'd want one like way far back.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if I had to,
Okay.
And you said that I don't remember what's happening?
You do not. So all your knowledge from that birthday till now, you do not have.
Ugh. That's gonna suck, but I'd probably choose this year.
Good birthday.
I couldn't do it. I would want to be like born like 1,000 years from now. Like I don't know anything, but also like make sure the reference to this question is okay. Let's want to make sure it's I'm very clear about this. Your question is that you can be reborn, right?
No, you start like you go back to that birthday and you live your life again.
So does it have to be in the past?
Not necessarily.
Okay, so it could be in the future.
Sure.
Do I have awareness of anything, like, at all? Do you have, like, a gut feeling that, hey, maybe, like, it was a different, like, time?
The instant you go to a birthday, if it's in the future, you'll gain all the knowledge that you've had, or that you've accumulated up until that point.
Okay, yeah, so it's definitely, like, 1,000 years in the future, September 11th. Why not? Just keep it there. My birthday is in June, and so I have the luxury of going, my birthday is every 6 months I get something nice. But that's not really luxury at all. In fact, it's actually kind of more like it sucks because it means that I'll never get a big gift, like ever. People aren't doubling up, you know what I'm saying?
Nope. No double ups like a holidays.
Kyle, I see that you have a question and a statement. Join the Discord. Join the thing so we can talk to you, like today. I'll just go ahead and read what you said. So it says, Kyle says, I had a friend whose birthday was September 11th, and I remember on the day she said it was her birthday and thought then you'll never be able to celebrate.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Ed and I will
That's
be
pretty
back.
dark.
Hold
Oh,
on.
yeah, that is.
Think about it this way: you could look at September 11th as a great tragedy, or you could look at it as a great success because how many people survived the building?
One way to
Was
look at
it?
it.
Did more people survive than they died?
I don't know.
Because maybe one's a success and one's a tragedy. I don't know. It kind of depends, right, on the way you look at it. Yeah, it's like, is it like the way you look at the world with the half empty or half full? So, like, kind of like point.
Either way. That analogy makes me think, give me food.
I know,
Yeah.
right? Oh my god! Like I could go for a lemonade, like right now. Like,
Are you sure not an aloha?
Oh,
don't get me started on those. No one needs to know about that. No one needs to know about that. My
I
god.
know about it now.
Yeah, see now you got Chowder curious. I'm sure other people are gonna be curious. They're like, what is it? What are they talking about when it comes to alohas? What are you talking about?
Who knows? Maybe that'll be a question for another Discord guest.
Oh god.
Bye.
All right. Well, Chowder, thanks for the question, and yeah, obviously, if join the queue if you wanted to ask another one. Okay. In the meantime, let's get back to what we were talking about with Star Wars. Okay, so what I'd like to know, if anybody who's watching this, is that when it comes to like Star Wars movies and stuff like that, where do you think that they should go next? Because clearly, like the history of Star Wars, they started with, essentially Episode 4, did 4, 5, and 6, or 4, 5, and 6, and then they went back, did the prequels. Prequels weren't exactly well received. I don't know. I enjoyed them. Like, even as a kid, I enjoyed them. But like, I definitely saw where people's complaints were. Like, it wasn't like I'm like, ooh, these are clearly as good as the old ones. Like, no. The original 3 were like really good. The new 3 were eh. And then the Disney properties are like, I was so excited when I saw the commercials for the first of the Disney batch of like actual 3 set the new trilogy, and then I went to see it and I was like, wow, this is kind of similar. Like, it feels very similar. Like, and I'm like, where have I seen this before? Then like someone like drew like the analogy of, oh, this is just basically A New Hope, but like with a female lead. And I was like, oh, that's kind of true. And then so I kind of like, I was blind, and then I saw, and I was sad.
Oh no. What did you see?
Well, what I saw was the fact that they were right. Like, that basically the 7th installment in the Star Wars movies, like the Episode 7 of sorts, is just basically a rehash of Episode 4, with just like changing like the background and ethnicity and like genders of certain characters, and then offing one of my favorite characters. It's like,
Well,
come on.
we do have one this time from Host.
Okay, Host is
I
back.
think this one's going to be a little fun.
Okay, all right, cool. I'm good. All right,
Welcome back, Host.
welcome back, Host. What's going on, man?
Throw your chaos into the fold.
Alright, so
All right,
my question
I'm
is,
leery.
if you could create any holiday, what would it be? And everyone has to follow that holiday.
No matter what.
Basically.
Ooh, see, I'm an evil fuck when it comes to some of this stuff. I definitely, I have one. Okay, all right. You know what I think I'd do?
All right.
Okay, and this is gonna sound ridiculous, but I think it would generally be
God.
fun. I would call it National Slip and Slide Olympics, where we get where we empty the freeways, all right, and we fill them up with like all sorts of plastic and line them, and then have tons of water running through there, and basically have like a contest of who can slide the furthest off a single push. And everyone has to do it. You could be 90, you could be like 4, doesn't matter. Deaths will happen. People will get hurt, but people will win. there will be victory. Yes.
One way or another.
Natural selection.
Exactly. The idea of victory through superior body starts to really take into effect. Bodybuilders start looking like, okay, this is the guy who's going to destroy us all. You see some dude like he's in like 70s looking like he could bench press a truck. You're like, oh god, get out of the way. Or you see She-Hulk walking around.
Boy, me. It's kind of a simple one. National Fluffle Day.
Falafel day. Really, with bunnies?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh.
You celebrate bunnies. National Fluffle Day.
It's a celebration of bunnies.
Celebration of rabbits.
You
They're
know,
so fluff.
that could be taken in a very different direction. I just want you to know.
Alright.
Oh my god.
Now I'm curious.
No, you're not. We're not going there. What about you, host? What do you got?
Chuck the midget.
Chop the midget? What is this
No,
going to be
no.
like? Okay. What's up?
Chuck, as in toss
Oh.
over.
Oh, toss the midget. Like,
Okay.
are we playing like horseshoes with midgets or something? Or like, or
Think of
football?
shock put.
Shot put with a person.
Yes.
With a person.
No.
Yes.
Okay, who the okay, actually, I already know the answer to that. What normal person could do that, though? Like, realistically? Or are you going to develop some sort of, like, apparatus where, like, a person has, like, levers and they just launch people? You're just, like, have a catapult and you're just going to say, don't worry about it. We're going to track down the midget and then we're going to lop it through the air. It's going to go. We got 50 yards, 70 yards. It's going. Like, what's going on?
Trebuchet.
The day of engineering. Everyone must create a contraption to toss the midget the furthest.
How about you?
Very happy I'm not a midget.
You
No
lose.
gunpowder allowed.
Good day, sir.
Yay.
All right. Well, thanks for the interesting statement / question, and it was worth the chuckle for sure. All right. If you want to add it back in the queue, go for it.
Yeah, he's back in the lounge.
Okay. Cool. All right. Do we have anybody else who's lined up?
I would need to double check.
Okay. So back to what I was saying about Star Wars. You know what? Honestly, I've talked a little bit about Star Wars till too much. So instead, let me just say this. I'd like to see them make more Star Wars stuff. I'd like to see less politics in there. I'd like to see better stories. And honestly, if you're going to use CGI, do it right. You know? Kyle, yes. National Free Fruit and Veggie Day. We definitely need that. There are people out there who are like, I don't even know what a vegetable looks like. I don't even know. So, I would be with free food, 100%. Damn right. You can get a bag and can fill it with fruits. Yeah, I would do that 100%. You just give me like some big giant juicy like Fuji apples, right? And then you get like some pears, give me some strawberries, some grapes, give me some carrots, some broccoli. Oh man, I will be a happy man. Happy man. All right. So on the other things more depressing in the world, right? We could kind of discuss, to a limited extent, of course, what's going on in Russia, right?
Russia.
Actually, before we do that, we have a new caller? Yes?
Yeah, well, not new. A
Okay.
repeat for the fourth time.
Oh, that's okay. I mean, hey,
Yeah.
welcome. Who we got?
Let's get him. Chowder.
Chowder is back. Hey, what's up, Chowder?
Chowder is back for another one.
For the-
4 let's go.
Hey.
I am co-host Chowder.
All right.
We can talk about that later.
Oh my gosh. All right, what's up, Chowder man? What do you got for me?
If you could delete a food from existence, it would never have existed.
Oh.
What food would it be?
See,
You should have heard their answers when they first screened this.
I can talk for host. We both said avocados.
Oh, fuck that. I love avocados. Avocados are delicious. Oh, I couldn't do that.
Weird texture, not enough flavor. In California, it's in everything. Ridiculous.
I don't know what kind of avocados you're having. I mean, that just sounds like you're having it raw. It's not. That ain't how you're supposed to have it. I can be honest with you. food that. See, here's the thing. I actually like food. Like, I'm allergic to food. There's some foods that I can't have, like red dye, most fish, cabbage. And when I was a kid, I used to be able to have cabbage. And I loved salads, and I loved cabbage. And it pains
Can't
me.
have cabbage.
Can't have
Poor
cabbage.
soul.
I know.
You can't have kimchi.
Yeah, I know. And there's a story there that maybe someday I'll get into online. But like, just know this: I've had a lot of exposure to kimchi, and it smells awesome. And like, people are like, ew. I'm like, but I can't have it. I haven't had radish kimchi though.
While you're thinking of what food to erase, I did hear about Chowder's answer to Host's previous question
Oh my god.
about like what holiday, and it's actually pretty wholesome.
Oh,
All right. Well, then, if he joins the chat, then we'll have him tell me. Okay.
No, it was Chowder's answer.
Oh, it's Chowder's answer. Oh, well, then,
Yeah.
in that case, then, yeah. What's up? Tell me the answer.
It was Found Family Day. You weren't born with them, but you found them.
Oh, that is pretty sweet.
Right?
I'd get on board with that. I'd get 100% on board with that.
Heck yeah.
I would celebrate that any day of the week.
Food-wise, I'd like to erase. I am not fond of sauerkraut.
I can understand that.
I tried it once, and oh my god, that was the most pickled thing in my
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. My answer is only because it's the leading cause for why the oceans are being polluted. And that would be tuna. Like,
Oh,
I love tuna. But I like to
wait, it's
live
the leading
more.
cause of pollution?
Oh my god,
In the
yeah.
ocean?
Oh my god, yeah. Because like when it comes to pollution, right? Like
Yeah.
the things that cause it are basically whatever you are only going out there if you is like financially like worth it to go and get certain things. Like for instance, like there are these things called cash crops, right? That people will go out there and they'll go fish for specifically. And say they're going to fish for like say tuna, where they can get like, I don't know, a single thing of tuna could be worth several $1 million just tuna. Right?
Ew.
And if they catch like an octopus or a crab or all that stuff, they get killed usually in the process, and they just get discarded. Like no one eats it, no one doesn't go to any markets, it just gets thrown off.
Ew.
And so it's called bycatch, is what like the term for that's called. And like if basically, I think it's like 40% of the major portion of the fishing that's considered detrimental to the environment, because like of course there's a bunch of different kinds of fishing, but like the most detrimental by a very large margin is actually like fishing for tuna.
That's a lot higher than I thought.
Yeah, it's huge. Like the margins for it were crazy. Like first I was like, oh, it's not a big deal, it's like 8% of the world's fishing or something like that, or 2% depending on when you look at the stats. And then like you find out like, oh my god, like all the nets that are thrown out, all the crazy things that they have to basically discard or destroy or disrupt for the pursuit of this one fish. It's ridiculous. Like it's ridiculous.
We got a funky question that turned into something serious.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Right.
It was a good one though.
Avocado
Thank
though.
you. So we got what was it? So we got what was it? What was
There's
it?
avocado.
Tuna, and yours was
Sauerkraut.
which I call horseradish, but I mean same thing.
Yeah, fair enough. Alright. We shall
Let's
be
get
back.
on it. Erase them from reality. Let's go.
Sure.
All right, we just like a queue up, just like call in the Scarlet Witch and be like, no more tuna, no more avocado.
Alright, we shall be back.
All right. Okay, so back to what we were discussing before. Okay, so yeah, we're talking about like the thing with Russia and like all the things that their pursuit of Ukraine is doing to kind of just fuck over the world's economy basically. One of the things that I always like whenever I look at the news that I find so intriguing is the fact that so much of what happens in one part of the world really has this huge cascading domino effect on everybody else. And the thing that like it kind of strikes me the most is that like I didn't know this until a couple days ago, but maybe some of you guys did, but like apparently Ukraine and Russia are some of the largest producers of wheat in the world. Total news to me. I always thought that like a bunch of food came from like, good old US of A, And, like I never really thought to think of, we produce a certain percentage of the food, but I didn't think about where it was. And when I found out that like the conflict was there, I'm like, man, bread is going to be expensive. Like, it's going to get expensive. And we're already seeing the backlash from the oil. We're seeing like what's going on with that, and that's obviously no fun. I mean, when you go to a Costco and you're like, I would like to get a tank of gas. And for me, a couple of years ago, a tank of gas was like, $40, $50. Now a tank of gas is like $80, $90. And I'm like, And then you consider inflation and what else is going on in the world, and you're like, man, this is really hurting the wallet. Hurting it bad. And so it's like, I don't know. I feel like everyone is just in a constant state of just,
You lose.
yeah, just
Good
lose.
day, sir.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Right. Well, we got a few more things to kind of discuss, but we're getting close to that time, folks. So, if you guys don't get part of the call-in show, if you liked this and you want to participate in the future, email the show. Let us know in future episodes in the comment section or in the chat. Hey, I really like that call-in show. I'd like to be part of it next time. You'll know what's going to happen, what it's going to look like, how it's going to be formatted.
the ending?
No, we're not ending. I'm just letting people know. I'm like, hey, we're just like, wind up queue.
Yeah.
We got room for 2 more callers, I think, comfortably. Two
Okay.
more.
I got one from host and probably one from chatter.
All right. Well then, yeah.
All right, let's move them.
All right. Cool. Good stuff.
Hi,
Okay.
host.
Hey.
Hey, host. What is
Are you gonna-
going on, man?
Go.
Alright, so our next question.
Hmm.
If you could straight up remove any character in Star Wars, who would it be? And it cannot be Jar Jar Binks.
Oh, come on! Really? The only character I would want to remove, you like strike Jar Jar from the list? Really?
No,
Easy choice. He doesn't count.
yeah.
God damn it! All right, let me think
You
about this for a
actually
second.
have to remove
Let me think about
somebody.
this for a second, okay?
So, sake of clarity, this character would never exist in the first place. It's not as though they got killed off. They never existed.
That is a good point. That is a good point. You know what? I actually, here's what I'm gonna say, and it's gonna be so like, you know what? Probably not that divisive, but like it's it's sort of like it's real. Ray Palpatine, get out of here, gone. Whole movie could have been done without you. A former like stormtrooper become a Jedi Knight would be way fucking more interesting to watch, than that. So I think that'll be my vote. And if I can't, and I would say this, if I cannot take out Jar Jar, because fuck Jar Jar forever. And nothing against the actor who plays Jar Jar, because I know he struggled with some issues over the thing. I have nothing against the way he portrayed the character. I solely levy all of my hatred of Jar Jar against the creator and the producers and all the people who told Lucas that, hey, this is a great idea, go for it, it's gonna sell toys. No, go die in a fire. I'm like, no.
Alright. I think for me, I think Chancellor Palpatine, if only because I want to see who would have risen up as the original villain,
So you just changed the entire mythos?
Like, I want to see what they do to replace it.
Oh, so you're saying like what bad guy would creep in like in its place?
Yeah, what bad guy would creep in?
That's a good
Like,
point.
what would they have changed?
like if you think about like Sidious's master, right? Oh my god, I'm blanking right now on the name.
I don't know, man.
Oh my god, I forgot. But like he had the ability to like save people's lives and stuff like that, right? You know,
Like, take one major villain, or take one major hero, like, and I mean major.
you're like remove Yoda,
like-
see what happens.
Exactly. It's one of those things for like, this is why fanfiction intrigues me, because it changed one major thing. What happens to the rest of the mythos?
Yeah, I mean that's fair. That's fair. It's nice to explore those.
Yeah, it's just like if you got rid of the major villain, or what happened if you got rid of the major mentors. Just like, what would change? What about you, host? Who would you remove?
I mean, I was going to say Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh, come on!
For the exact reason why Rose wanted to remove Palpatine.
Oh, just to see
Oh.
chaos. Would you
Yeah.
would you keep Qui-Gon and kill off Obi-Wan instead and see what happens, or would it be like somebody
Yeah.
completely different?
Qui-Gon's more of a legend. Like, he doesn't really have too much presence. He's just the story that everyone aspires to be. But Obi-Wan has a hand in like everything.
Yeah.
Even after death.
Yeah, I see. Here's my thought
Spoilers.
process. I don't think that Qui-Gon would have killed Anakin. I think he would have died to Anakin, and so Anakin wouldn't have been all messed up and scarred, and so he might have turned into the Emperor in the end. Yeah.
On
So
a
we've got-
side note. If you get rid of Leia, Jar Jar has a higher chance of dying by himself.
Why would you say it? Why would Leia have an impact on Jar Jar?
Oh, sorry. Wrong one. The senator.
Amidala?
Amidala, there we go.
Yep.
Fuck that, get that so messed up.
All right. So we will return to the lounge and get one more guess.
All right, yeah, we'll have one more, and depending on how quick the question is, maybe we can squeeze in another one. We'll see.
Okay.
All right. And while you're gone, I'll address Kyle's question. Well, Sam, while you're gone. Thank you, by the way, host. So Kyle's, the first one says, is I didn't think grain came from there because I thought it was a frozen wasteland. I thought the same thing. Like, I literally had to look up on Google Map. I'm like, really? Like to see like there's actually like, farm, but there is. There's a lot of like farmland, which was very surprising because I thought it was just like tundra thing, but apparently that's a complete other side of Russia. So like, yeah. Okay, let's hear. And then Kyle, you also have another one. Says the aunt and uncle from the first movie. They exist solely to die, and Luke forgot about them 5 minutes later. Their deletion from the story does nothing. That's kind of true in some ways. I guess it kind of depends on how you look at it, right? Like, Kyle's question about like the aunt and uncle from episode 4 of them being killed by stormtroopers. In some ways, you could say that like that their death kind of spurred Luke to a path that he may not have chosen. It forced him down a road that he had to choose, but he may not have necessarily done. So, I don't know if I 100% agree with the idea that their deletion does nothing for the story, but I can definitely understand where you're coming from.
We have one question from Chowder.
Fantastic. Welcome back, Chowder.
Let me get him in.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Chowder.
Round 5, 6.
You're
Five.
you're on 5? All right. So what is the question or statement you got?
What is your favorite board game?
Oh, God. Okay, all right. When you say board
It's
game,
gonna be-
when you say board game, are we like, it could be any board game, or it's got to be like one of those classical board games?
No, it could be any board
Any
game.
board game? Pokemon Adventure for 19, it came out in 2000, I want to say, or 97, one of the two. It basically was like, you went around a map and you had to roll a dice, and depending on whether or not you rolled the dice, you would potentially catch the Pokemon. Eventually, at the end of the board, you'd have to fight the Elite Four, and the power value of your team was basically compared against the power value of the team of the trainers. And if you got knocked out, then you'd have to start all over again and lose all your Pokemon.
Oh my.
So like it was kind of a challenging board game, but I enjoyed it because
Nuzlocke reset.
yeah, because I would always like play with friends, and so we would have trades involved, and so like I would like, oh, you get that Charizard, you let me know, man. I want that Charizard. You want the Blastoise? Here, I got Blastoise. We'll swap. So it was fun.
Mine would be Res Arcana.
I have
It's a
not
nice
heard of
little
that.
resource game.
What's that one about?
So it's a resource management game.
Mm-hmm.
It's also kind of a deck builder.
Okay.
The goal is to get a certain number of points, which are done by getting cards, certain cards, or killing the other person. There is such a thing as sabotage, attacking, and there are like dragons that you can get, locations you can grab. It's mostly fantasy setting. Lord Almighty, I just looked at what was in the button chat.
Yeah, that seems like a really cool game.
Yeah, Res Arcana is one of my favorite resource management games.
Awesome.
My
What's
favorite
yours?
My favorite game is Terraforming Mars.
Terraforming Mars.
Yes.
That's a board game?
Yes, it is a giant ass board game.
That oh my god! You got email the show like images of this. Like I gotta see this.
It is a resource management game where you're terraforming Mars.
Uh-huh.
Up to 5 people, and it is quite intense. And games can last well over 5 hours.
Oh my god!
Nice.
I mean, I
Yeah.
guess it's nothing compared to like. There's a Monopoly match that I played that lasted like 6 months.
Christ.
Yeah.
How did it last 6 months?
In essence, 3 of us controlled like the sides of the board, and
Oh.
we never got like 2 of us were like, I absolutely refuse to lose, and the other person was like, I'm not gonna quit unless one of you guys do. And so what ended up happening eventually was that like we all lost to my one friend because he owned all of the utilities and railroads and the
Oh,
side
that
of the
would do
board.
it.
And so, like, attrition just eventually paid off. Like, I had all the expensive properties. I had, like, the Boardwalk Park Place, and I had all the
Yeah, yeah.
green, and I had all the red and yellow. Like, I
alright.
had some pretty hard hitters, and I had gotten, like, very lucky early on. Like, and so I got a lot of money in real quick. And so I was kind of able to establish it really quickly, but they ended up buying out everything and then making some trades. And so it was like, I got screwed over in the end. I was the first to lose.
Fair enough.
Monopoly.
Munchkin.
Munchkin's also fun, but that's not a board game. That's a card game. But it's
Alright.
epic.
Thank you, Chowder.
Yeah, thanks, Chatter. All right, I think we'll do one last caller. That's the last one,
One last
and
one.
and I want you to prioritize somebody who has not spoken. If there is someone in there who hasn't spoken yet,
Not from what it looks like to me.
okay. In that case, then whoever you feel like, okay. All right, can you bring them both on?
Whoever's got a I can. You want me to bring both?
Yeah, if you can bring both on, let's bring them both on.
Okay. I'll be right back.
All right. Yep. Okay. Yeah, honestly, guys, I hope that, anybody who's watching this later, you guys get encouraged to, hey, next time we do something like this, to come on. Because it's always nice to hear you guys and to hear any questions or statements and just kind of have fun conversation. I also, we're going to be doing more Twitch and more Discord regular streaming stuff. So hopefully you guys come check us out for that. We're also going to have a side project that's going to be doing some video game reviews in the coming weeks. So we'll do something along those lines, or some like playthroughs or something. So.
Okay. First up, Chowder.
Okay.
Hello, I am back again.
Chowder's back.
And
okay.
host.
And host. All right.
All right.
Well, welcome to both of you guys again. I figured since you guys were, asking so many questions, we'll just kind of tack you on both at the same time because this will be the last set of questions of the night. So, whichever one of you guys wants to go first, go for it.
Host, would you like to go first?
Yeah.
Do.
If you could have any cybernetic enhancement, what would it be?
Cybernetic enhancement. All right, can you kind of tell me what you mean by enhancement? Like, what exactly are the parameters for this?
Cyberpunk, steampunk, no magic.
Okay, no
It could
magic,
be-
steampunk, no magic, but steampunk or okay,
Like mechanical in nature, scientific.
okay.
I think I'd
That would
enhance
be-
my hands.
Eyes. I have really bad eyes.
Fair, yeah.
I think I'd go with wings.
Wings.
Yeah,
Oh.
I would want wings. Like I don't think like I need an enhancement anywhere else. I think like just be able to fly around would be cool, and
Yeah,
especially like if it's
fair.
like a cyberpunk-esque looking wing, I'm totally down with that.
I think for my hands, I'd want it because then I could actually touch hot things from the microwave. I burn so easily. But also to like have more steady hands, or at least have them do what I actually want to do.
Okay.
Like for drawing, like if I have an image in my head, it could just like try to match it precisely rather than me trying to draw and it's so disproportionate.
Yeah, see, I would have any cybernetic enhancement, like whether it be like hands, feet, wings, you know, like I had, like operate like so, like while I'm asleep, it's like doing stuff, tasks for me. You know? Like for instance, like let's see, I suck at typing, right? And so like I would totally just have like a laptop near angled in such a way that I could go to sleep, and then like it would be typing like whatever I needed to type while I'm asleep. So I'm just like that much more productive.
Hey, what about you, Chatter?
I said eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Eyes. Because you have bad vision, right? That's what you said.
Yeah, I have pretty bad vision.
Okay.
And then you host?
I just have hands, really.
Ah,
Hands.
Yeah.
hands, eyes, wings.
All right. Okay. All right. What's the reason for the hands?
Let's just do more at the same time. Like, not more about multitasking, more about doing the exact same mundane task, just faster.
I just imagine seeing
Imagine
somebody
being
like.
at like, oh,
Oh no! Okay, go for it. Go for it.
I'm just imagining a fruit cutting stand.
I knew you were gonna go there. I knew you were gonna go there.
Chop, 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 be the actual fruit ninja.
Yeah. Like honestly, what I can just imagine is someone's like sitting there, like playing like any game, any video game. Period. They have like these enhancements, right? And you're like, I see your pro controller and raise you cybernetic hands. And start pressing buttons like a little fast.
Whack-a-mole.
Oh my god! But also, cybernetic hands doesn't go into arms, right?
Mm.
Like a hands would be just like your hands. Like I would imagine the enhancement would end at your wrist. Because then, like,
I'm just.
I don't think we have the time to go into semantics of cybernetic.
fair enough.
Oh, Kyle says a cybernetic nose to improve their sense of smell.
Okay, all right. I mean, that's pretty cool. I think of every cybernetic thing, there is so many like positives, but there's probably also like unforeseen drawbacks. Like I can imagine like being sleeping and like my wings are like leaking oil or something, and like I wake up in like a pool of oil. I'm like, oh god, why?
I don't know whether that'd be worse
Or maybe
not as bad as, you know, waking up in a pool of blood.
yeah. Or you see Chowder sees something he doesn't want to see.
See that one little pimple?
Mo.
I see that one like lip hair that you haven't removed.
Oh god.
Do we have time for one more question, or are we good?
Well, of course we got one more question. Chowder hasn't asked his question yet.
Yeah.
This one's relatively simple. Which of the 5 major senses would you get rid of?
What I get rid of?
Touch.
Yes.
Oh shit.
Touch, 100%.
Touch.
Don't eat it.
Fair.
I mean, like,
Yes, you burn your hand and you don't understand why it's not hurting.
well, you'd see it. Like, here's the thing about this is, right? Like, so people comically, you know, often say that people only have 5 senses, but truthfully speaking, people have hundreds, if not thousands, of senses. The notion of you know, just touch, you know, sight, you know, all sound, all the stuff goes back to Greek philosophers and simple ideology about the basis of elements. But that's not actually what cognitive scientists have found out. Especially if you look at like research surrounding perception, you start to realize that there's so many other things. Like for instance, like if you burn your hand, right? So there's like a whole bunch of senses that happen beyond just touch that causes you have that reflex of ooh, hot finger, you know, hot plate, you know, or whatever it is, right? And so like to me, I think like simply losing touch is probably the least useful one, because at the end of the day, the only thing that touch really does for you is provides you perhaps like, you know, some sort of cerebral interaction with your surroundings that you can do without having to count on other senses, and really just probably like the emotional stuff that comes alongside it. But then again, I don't know, I'm not all that emotional, so like it's you know what I mean? It's like it could be either way. So
I mean, if I had to choose one, it'd probably be touch as well, because I like being able to see things. I want to be able to read. I want to be able to hear music.
taste.
Taste good food.
Mm-hmm.
Yummy, yummy. Smell good food.
I mean, there's
But if
benefits
it
of
wasn't
losing that.
touch, if it wasn't touch.
Mine would be hearing.
Oh, interesting.
You'd rather be
Why?
deaf.
Yeah. the only concern of like being deaf is not being able to like hear people behind you and trying to talk to you. But we have sign language for that.
I suppose.
Also, we have screens now, so we can just write.
We can type. We can tip tap.
And pretty soon
Yeah.
you'll have those goggles that'll be able to just like, interact with like the environment in an extra way. In like, 3-dimensional, like extra stuff. Like what is it called?
AR?
Yeah, AR.
Oh, alternative reality.
Augmented reality.
Ah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, before we go with Kyle real quick, I want to point out, if it's India, that's awesome. I didn't know that, and I'm going to look into that now. And there's an interesting fact about people not living past 30 if they don't have the sense of touch. But it wouldn't surprise me.
Alright.
Well,
I mean, yeah, if you lose your sense of touch, it's kind of like pain inhibitor, maybe?
yeah. All right. Well, I just want to thank you, Chowder, and thank you, host, for coming in and talking on the show. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll send you both back to the lounge. There we go.
All right. And for all those people who are watching that, got to, basically like, see stuff and whatnot, appreciate it. Like, you just, participate and just checking out the show. Kyle, I really appreciate you chatting in the chat. It was really nice.
Yeah, maybe you can join us next time.
Yeah, maybe you can join us next time. It would be really cool. There's one more thing. Oh, you said one more thing. It says, I think about what it would be like to be married and not be able to see my partner's face or hear their voice. Yeah, that would be that would be really. Yeah, I couldn't do that. Like, honestly, the reason why touch to me is like the one thing that I could give up is because it's the one thing that is. There are other senses that I can easily utilize to simulate touch. So
fair enough.
I can hear contact. I can smell contact. I can see contact. Like those things are like the reason why I feel like I could give up. If I was forced to give up one of the traditional 5, then that would be the one that I'd give up for that reason.
Alright.
But yeah, super deep statement, Kyle. Hopefully in the next time you'll be able to join us because I can tell you would have a lot to add.
Yeah.
And
Well,
Deborah,
today was fun.
yeah, today was fun. Sorry, I'm just like losing my voice here.
Oh no.
We're running a little longer than normal, so normally I gotta get my Kirkland water out. You know what I'm saying? Anyways,
Hey.
well, I want you guys to all know that I appreciate everybody, and I hope you guys all have a fantastic evening. You beautiful people. We'll see you in the next one. Good night, everybody.